welcome back to the Mustang. So if you remember, we left off, we cut everything out of here and I showed you I'd braced it up. I didn't show you, but I this out of the way. I sprayed inside the frame with our rust treatment down in there, because you're not going to see that once this panel goes on. I laid this panel on top, I fitted it, and then I went with a felt pen underneath and I ran the felt pen, if this makes sense, along this edge on either side, so I knew where the drill holes in here, because I have to plug weld it back on top here, because originally it was spot welded, as you can see, with to that. So I did that. But before we can get this piece in, which then we put the inner wheel tub in, we got some rust in the corner which I cut out, so now I have to deal with this situation with this patch here I'm putting in. Because this piece here that you see down here has to go in first, because this piece overlays on top of it. So again, take lots of measurements. Wherever you want to take a marking point from, doesn't matter. You decide. Write it in a book, write it on the car, write it down twice. It can't hurt. Because trust me, excuse me, sometimes you'll walk away from something and you'll lose it, or sometimes you'll write it on a car, which I've done before, and you end up grinding it off. So I put some braces, as you can see, to hold that subframe there. Whether it was going to move or not, I don't know, but I wasn't going to chance it, because that subframe welds to all the back of this. Now somebody had mentioned that they said, oh, these Mustangs weren't very solid in the back. You really think about it, and I'm not trying to insult the Mustang owners out there, they weren't the most solid. You got a unibody car to begin with, you got subframes on the back, and you got no floor pan, because your floor pan right here, this big square, is your gas tank. So you really don't got a lot of strength back there. I'm going to weld this up a little more solid than it would have been from factory, and I might even add a little piece here and there to it, just to make it a little more, I don't know, what's the old-fashioned word, skookum. But at the end of the day, it still is going to be what it's going to be. The good news is the subframe is solid here. This side I haven't cleaned up yet, but I can see from the inside it was solid, and the other side, you remember, I ground it down to bare metal and it was solid. So we're going to get this piece in next. That's what we're aiming for right now. Okay, so we're back here again. I've got the piece in. I don't know if you can see this. It's hard to film this, guys. I've got this piece in here. I cut out. You can see where I kind of see where I butt welded it there. So I got that. Again, take measurements. I can't say it enough. And I've got this pan sitting in place. Now, I don't know if you can see, but see the holes, they line up with the sub rail underneath. So we'll make sure that we still got to clamp it down more, but we'll make sure that we plug weld it there. Took the measurements from across here to across there and wrote them in a book. Plus you can barely see them. I got them written down here, 30 1/4. It's a little narrower back here, which is supposed to be, or at least it was when I took it apart. So still got our bracing up here to hold everything in place, because remember, this goes onto your inner wheel tub, which we haven't done yet. But now our next step is to get this all welded in place. Then we fit our inner wheel tub. So you see I got her clamped up everywhere where I need to be, clamped up there, I've got clamps here. And of course this piece that I made that comes across, that goes into here, this actually, I can film this, it connects on and welds onto it. So I can see right there where it's joined onto. So this is our next step, is to get this piece put in. Then we will go on to our wheel tub. And note, as you're working, don't be afraid to stop every now and again and take a couple minutes to clean up your work area. The only reason I say this is, trust me, I have gotten more metal, more nails, more screws, more everything in my knees over the years from kneeling down on this crap, because you're just going. And us car guys know what we mean. We're just going and going and going and working, and we don't think nothing of it. But take the 2 minutes to clean it up, because when you get older, trust me, it hurts more. Anyway, okay, let's continue on here. Okay guys, so as you can see, I plug welded it all the way where I drilled the holes. I welded it, which went onto the frame rail that's underneath there. All them did. Then we welded it up here where it would have been factory. And of course, you know, whoops, I've got it all welded back in here. So now we're going to start grinding some welds down, but this is good and solid. I don't know, sorry about the filming here. There you go, you can see I'm yarding on that. It ain't moving anywhere. That's solid. So I'm going to grind the welds down now while the inner wheel tub is out. I can just get in there a little better and clean it up. Do what I got to do there. Like I say, you know, welded her all across up in here, welded her across back in here. You can see underneath here, this panel attaches to this panel. That's this piece I replaced here. Goes across. This is just a weld coming through on the other side that you see I ground down. So I gave it little extra welds. Normally this was spot welded, had 3 spot welds on either side. I welded it solid on the other side. I just want to make sure that nothing is going to move underneath this car. So same as this, probably would have been 1 or 2 spot welds. I just welded it solid. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I did do, like I say, I did do what they would have done. I call it plug welding, but I did a little, you know, plug welds along there like they would have had factory. So if you ever got to replace this panel, just drill those out, cut it across there, which is how it's welded anyway, and then boom, that's going to come out. So we're going to grind this down now and get that all taken care of, and we'll show you the finished product once it's all ground down. Okay guys, I think we'll finish this video off by showing you that this piece is all in. I've ground down the areas where I had to grind it down, ground it all down in the corners, ground it up and across along the lower back section. So that's it. So we have the side of the chunk floor. I call it the chunk floor extension piece is what I call it, because it comes down like this piece that's coming down right here. This is the back of your quarter panel, which attaches to your quarter, which I didn't show you on this video, but I went and took the quarter panel and I set it on the car, even though I haven't got it fully cut out yet for the quarter panel to fit 100% properly. I set it on the car and made sure the quarter panel came down and was lining up with this, and it lined up like beautiful. So that is what's happening there. So we're going from a nice solid metal piece like that to that old rust that was in there. We got rid of it, which is the same on this side. You can see it's just all rusted. I mean, just imagine, you can see it's been all patched under here. Wait till we get in there. Look at the tar and the goop in here. You can just tell someone's just patched it. So I guess our next video on this will be putting in the inner wheel tub. That'll be our next one that'll be coming up soon. So remember, it's always a good time at old time. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. I don't know what else to tell you, except I hope everyone is doing good in the new year. 2021 is here. Away we go. And I do have something to show you guys. We did get some newer decals in, and they're right in here. Let's get in the office. They are right here. Now, if you don't like swearing or profanity, walk away. So we got Old Time Garage Vehicle Restoration, Old Time Garage 100% Fuck Trailer Queens, and of course 100% Fuck Garage Queens. Now, probably some of you just took insult to that, but if you're driving your car and you're having fun with it, that's a different story. If you're building it to leave it sitting in the garage and never do nothing with it, well, I don't know what your issue is. Anyway, it's always a good time at old time. We'll see you next time. Big thumbs up. Okay.